Sometimes a mystery in a game leaves you completely shaken to your core, making you want to play something a little more calm and relaxing, which is definitely not the case for this game, as those looking for more mysteries and excitement will love this video's sponsor, Once Human. Once Human gave me a chance to play the game before it releases, and I loved it, as one of the most strangely captivating survival games I've ever played, most closely resembling a psychological horror version of an open-world Bethesda game combined with a looter-shooter like Destiny. Once Human is super unique with its strange atmosphere, smooth gameplay, striking visuals, and secretive game world, with odd surprises in every direction, including a few Easter eggs according to its developers. Be sure to add the game on Steam to your wishlist so you don't miss out on Once Human when it releases July 9th. Buckshot Roulette. Thanks to Vanesh for spinning this mystery through Oddheader.com. Buckshot Roulette released on Steam in 2024 from indie developer Mike Mika. The game is pretty short, taking only about 20 minutes to play through, as you awake in the bathroom of a shady nightclub with the word afraid written on the wall, which, to be honest, I am. Exploring further, the player must sign a waiver, and then is dropped into a game of Russian roulette against this evil version of the Airheads guy, where a shotgun is loaded with one live round and 2 blanks in a random order, and you take turns choosing to shoot either yourself or your opponent. However, a discovery in Buckshot Roulette suggests there's much more to this game. After beating the game, a computer monitor appears in the bathroom, which shows players' stats. Why this computer monitor is being kept in the bathroom is the least of our concerns, as players notice a helpline email on one of the screens they could actually send messages to. By emailing contact@voltastandardelectronics.com, players receive a mysterious reply. After a strange response thanking them for contacting the company, there's a strange code that had players stumped for weeks. voltastandardelectronics.com is actually a real website, which shows an advert for the company's new flip phone, which they call a sleek and futuristic device. Yeah, the page also includes a phone number for players to order the cell phone, which you can actually call. Dialing the number gives us an automated message, which blocks out the call center's hours of operation and gives the option to add an extension.
Our hours of operation are now.
The message also mentions who to contact if your order was impacted by the shutdown. Players later found the shutdown to be the key to decrypting the code from the email, as it was the passcode used to encrypt the message with a very specific decoder, which was written in base 32. Translating the code reveals a strange poem, saying they won't ever forgive me or I will not forgive myself, and mentions a machine fed by booming shots, blood, and luck, going on to say it's chewing, metallic, and vile, and still it brings more comfort than the dance of hell below. Right, back on the webpage, clicking on the star takes players to a login screen. So far, players have not been able to figure out the password or what this is supposed to lead to, but a trailer for the game may hold one more clue, as by pausing the trailer, publisher Critical Reflex released on April 17, a secret message flashes for only 1 frame. Remember August 5th, 1998. Right, the great August 5th of 1998. Wait, what the hell happened August 5th, 1998? Where this ARG eventually leads, or what any of Buckshot Roulette is actually supposed to mean, is a mystery that still has players desperately searching for answers. People Playground. Thanks to Bobby the Bob for submitting this mystery through Oddheader.com. People Playground released in 2019 from indie Dutch developer Mesa. People Playground isn't so much a game as it is a demented torture simulator, which some believe is supposed to be an alien experiment where the aliens are studying different ways they can inflict damage on these humanoid ragdoll dudes, which has been a rather surprising hit on Steam with over 200,000 positive reviews rating how much fun the game is. Yet more concerning than players raving about how fun this murder simulator is, a recent update has somehow managed to make People Playground even more unnerving. The January 2024 update issued some pretty standard fixes for the game, such as more blood splats and even more gruesome sound effects when tearing apart the bodies. Typical quality of death updates, or so players thought until they looked more closely at the substructure map of the game. As in the bathroom area, looking closely at one of the mirrors, they saw hidden data matrices, which are a type of QR code that they'd never noticed before. Scanning the codes results in a string of numbers which look suspiciously like an IP address. The IP addresses players get vary, but have been found to be the player's own IP or an address in Amsterdam Central train station. If players find the secret room on the map hybrid, knocking down some panels by damaging the walls reveals a fuse box. The box's static noise produces a spectrogram that's actually a hidden barcode, which when scanned reveals the text stream/main1. Adding this to the Amsterdam IP address takes us to a website that asks for a login. Players can find the login on the map Uncharted Territory, a secret area we covered before that was unlocked by building a portal in the game that at the time we didn't know the purpose of. However, since then, a secret hologram has been uncovered in uncharted territory that was recently added to the game that provides us with the login credentials. Typing in the password takes us to what appears to be a live stream of what looks like security cam footage in some sort of building, possibly an art gallery. Inside the room is a mysterious glowing red box that glows consistently, even during the night. Though why we're watching it or what we're supposed to be looking for here is still a mystery. Is this red box a key behind People Playground's human experiments? Are we the experiments being tracked by aliens as we try to piece together the mystery in an attempt to torture us? Or is this all just a trick to get unpaid labor out of us so we can monitor the security feed for free? At this point, I have no idea. But considering the state of these guys, I'm not sure if I want to know where the rabbit hole ends up taking us in this mystery. Hell Pie. Thanks to Hajime the Fool of the Easter Egg Archive and Krissy for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord. Hell Pie is a 3D platformer released in 2022 from German indie developer Sluggerfly. In the game, players take on the role of a demon finding disgusting ingredients for Satan's gross birthday pie, including a rotten tentacle inside a whale's body, a used tampon, and the heart of a food critic. Guess I shouldn't be too critical. Hell Pie could also be the name of the last mystery I covered in a game from Sluggerfly, as their 2015 platformer Ben and Ed held clues that led to a long ARG, with steps that included hidden coordinates, which prompted YouTuber Burrs Gamer to meet with some developers who said they weren't involved with the ARG and then decided to visit the location of the coordinates found in the game, before they all got creeped out and got the hell out of there. Which wasn't even the strangest part, as there was also someone uploading strange images and videos to a Facebook page, including a video of someone who appeared to be cutting off their own foot. At the time of my video, the ARG was still unsolved, and even the developers said they didn't know what was up, as the Easter eggs that led to the ARG were left by someone who they said they hired online to program the last sequence of the game, though they still seem to be teasing the ARG with few references hidden in the Hell Pie trailer. Hell Pie seemed to continue this mystery as right when the game released, players found a series of Easter eggs in the game that could be a step in the ARG. Throughout the game, there's 4 odd heads, with numbers located in different hub areas, including this head in the Sin Inc. main hub, which shows the number 3 and that apparently his name is Gore upon interacting with him. This giant head in Sashimi Bay marked 831, this head in Pearly Gates with the number 32, and this skull in Flavor Peaks, which for some reason displays a mirrored 148. Did they put that texture on backwards? There's also a jungle level of the game where so far no odd heads have been found, although players believe a final head could be hidden somewhere in the level. Data mining in the game isn't much help, as a folder named Easter Eggs holds another folder named Number Heads that only shows 2 numbers, the 831 and the 148, although the name of the folder seemingly confirms the heads are part of a larger Easter egg. Some fans believe these numbers could be pointing to more coordinates for new locations in the Ben and Ed ARG, but without finding the possible skull buried somewhere in the jungle and its number, and knowing which order to put the numbers in, the mystery has pretty much hit a wall. There's also a folder found in the Easter eggs folder that appears to contain something called Utz saying Fresh mode, that appears to contain this image and a recording just saying Utz. Okay then. Well, hopefully some new clues come to light that can help players figure out the next step in the ARG. Although be careful out there. I don't want anyone pulling out their own hair or cutting off their own foot trying to solve this mystery. Rusty's retirement. Thanks to Taleah and Maximilian Mackinnon for submitting this mystery through Oddheader.com. Rusty's Retirement is an idle farming simulator that released in April 2024 from indie developer Mr. Morris Games. The game is meant to be cozy and relaxing, sitting at the bottom of the player's screen while they work on other things, with players even being able to play Rusty's Retirement at the same time as another game on screen. Rusty is a little robot dog growing crops in exchange for biofuel, which players can turn into in-game currency to expand their farm and buy other bots to automate tasks for them. However, players made a discovery in the game that has them questioning if Rusty is as cute and innocent as he seems. As in the game, in the corner of all the maps is an old computer monitor. By spam clicking the monitor, it eventually reveals coordinates. Typing these coordinates into Google Maps takes us to... This doesn't look like Rusty's farm. The coordinates appear to be the inside of some sort of shack or shelter, with pictures on the wall showing a church and some crowds of people of some sort. The name of the location in Google is Patere 10A, Patere being a former Soviet prison in Estonia that's now a museum about the communist regime in the country and a memorial to the people they killed. Kind of a change of pace for a relaxing farming game. Typing Patere 10A into the game spawns a robot, which appears to be similar to a boss named Virus from Mr. Morris's previous game Haiku the Robot, who goes on to destroy one of your crops, although it hasn't been determined if there's anything more that happens from here, while the virus could just be an Easter egg referencing the creator's previous game. It's unclear what any of this has to do with Patere Prison and why its coordinates were hidden in the game in the first place. If this is just the first part of an ARG, and if there's more clues or even something waiting for players in the real-life location, is still unknown. I guess at this point, the only way we can know for certain is if someone wants to travel all the way to Patare prison in Estonia. This game doesn't feel all that relaxing with the coordinates of a former prison in the corner of my screen. I'm not sure if I still want this game running at the bottom of my computer screen. Black Mesa. Thanks to Rene, PCBCat, Kasio, Renato, Couscous, and Lonewalker for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader website and Discord. Black Mesa is a remake of Half-Life and Valve's source engine from developer Crowbar Collective, which began as a mod in 2012 but was officially released in 2020 once it got approval from Valve. Yet an unexpected addition was discovered to have been added to the game that will leave you confused no matter how we slice it, as Black Mesa has hidden pizza boxes as well as this message taunting players out of bounds. The pizza is a lie, an obvious nod to the quote, "the cake is a lie" from Valve's other title, Portal. Next to one of these pizza messages is a cipher, which can be found by no-clipping through a door in the questionable ethics chapter of the game. When translated, this cipher reveals, "I have 4 hidden codes, A, B, C, D, for access to my site. Do Konami code A1001. These instructions were found to be for the Stormseeker website, an online portfolio run by Black Mesa developer Chris Horn. Inputting the code led to another website, terminal.blackmesasource.com. Going there, a message from Stormseeker says they've long suspected there was something strange going on in the development of the Black Mesa facility, including unexplained disappearances, misappropriation of funds regarding cheesy oven-baked bread products, and an ominous feeling that something is constantly watching us all from the shadows. They say this needs solving fast, and they're offering a reward for whoever solves the mystery. And so players began trying to figure it all out back in 2012, when Black Mesa was still being developed. Since then, the Stormseeker and Terminal websites have been taken down, and it's still unknown where this is all supposed to lead and what the reward even is. Throughout the first Terminal message, random letters spelled out Dr. Horn, Stormseeker's alias in the game. Through these coded messages and notes written on whiteboards throughout the game, we can learn more about Horn and his colleagues, which are the aliases of other Black Mesa developers who are making Horn go crazy by stealing all of his pizza. Horn hasn't been found in the game, though what's believed to be his last known location was found when players discovered a secret lair in a cave. The area is filled with Dr. Horn's writings on a whiteboard, a mysterious portal gate, and more pizza. Horn's writings and other clues hint that he was working on an AI project called Halos, but the AI evolved through some sort of exotic matter, and Horn might be on a mission for it while bringing along pizza. Perhaps most strangely, the gate has evolved since it first appeared. Over time, more crystals have been added, as well as colored lights that flash in sequences to give more clues. One of the most mysterious clues was found when players decompiled the map and found numeric codes hidden inside the sprite entities for each of the lights. Translating the code revealed coordinates, as well as the word prison. The coordinates led to the real-life St. Herbert's Island in the middle of Derwentwater Lake in England. That's pretty far to go for some pizza. The mystery seems to hit a dead end there, though a Discord user associated with the server has relayed messages from someone named Professor B, who continues to send players coded messages and clues that appear to be tied to the mystery to this day. After 14 years of trying to solve this mystery, and many more unsolved parts of the puzzle, all I have to say is after all of this pizza better be delivery, not DiGiorno. Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse. Thanks to Ember The Flareon for submitting this mystery on the Oddheader Discord. Sam and Max, The Devil's Playhouse is the third and final season in the series from Telltale Games, centered around the popular comic book anthropomorphic investigators and adventure game icons as they investigate another mystery, which released simultaneously on Mac, Windows, and PlayStation in 2010. However, players discovered something that could be found for some reason only on the PlayStation 3 version of the game. After beating the game and examining this dumpster, Max volunteers to dumpster dive and retrieves a pair of NutriSpecs, an item that lets you scan anything to know its ingredients, which besides a few extra jokes is an otherwise pretty random addition to the game. However, one odd thing can be found if you scan this Abe Lincoln head with the NutriSpecs, as Sam observes that it's 99% banana pudding and 1% cardboard. Examining the banana pudding Abe Lincoln head now prompts Max to dig inside to search for what the 1% cardboard is, and finds a card. Strangely, on the PS3 version, this is where the mystery ends. However, players were able to find that despite the PC version never having the NutriSpecs, the code and scripting for them were still in the game, meaning hackers were able to easily reactivate it. And when this card was collected on this version, they were provided a message that said, "You'll find something that's good for you at www.snmsecretfile.com. The problem is snmsecretfile.com doesn't lead to anything, nor is there any archive of it, nor any evidence of what this website originally held, as the only mentions found on Telltale Games forums in 2011 say that the link was quickly changed to redirect to the Telltale website, with no explanation of what the site was originally. Some players asked why this wasn't properly included in the PC release and were told by a developer the PC version may have more bonus content than you know. Stay tuned, suggesting there was still more to find or something was coming, but nothing has seemed to emerge after all of these years. Another related clue was seemingly uploaded to Telltale Games' YouTube account a day after the game's release. The video seems to be an advertisement for the future vision goggles that are used in the game. However, at the end of that video is a phone number, and when that number was called, you received a recording, which is no longer live, but thankfully was archived and uploaded on YouTube.
Due to demand for our sweet psychic toys, everything is currently out of stock. Please visit us at 516vision.com.
Going to the link would have led to this website, which was also hosted on the Telltale Games website and just said the future is coming. Fortunately, a remaster for Sam and Max the Devil's Playhouse was just finished and awaiting console certification at the time of this video, with a release date around the corner. The remaster was done by a team that's involved ex-Telltale members and states on their FAQ that they decided to remaster the game after realizing there were things that they wanted to fix and more that they originally wanted to do, which may just mean we may be getting an answer to this mystery soon enough. And only after 14 years, too. Half-Life 2. Thanks to Frankie, Jake, Nader, yessiest, Gavin Orris, and Randall for submitting this mystery through my Reddit, Discord, and website. One mystery previously discussed on the channel involves this mysterious billboard with the letters XCCR on it, right at the beginning of Half-Life 2 outside the train station. Players on the Steam forums noticed it for the first time in 2013, and when they googled it, they found a mysterious website called XCCR.com that was modeled after an old computer terminal where they could insert codes, but gave no results, with some believing it to be connected to the show Lost, though this was never confirmed. Records show the website went online after the release of Half-Life 2, and went offline around 2018, so at the time of my video, we seem to be at a dead end with the mystery. However, in January 2022, Frankie and yessiest on Reddit both informed me that the website was back up, about 1 year after my video was published. Very strangely, when XCCR.com first went back online, as Sponk the Spork on YouTube shows here, the page was just a QR code with some random numbers underneath. The QR code didn't do anything when Sponk scanned it, as he believed it to only be a fraction of the actual code, and the rest has never been found to this day. However, 2 days later, XCCR.com was changed to look like the original website, except now you can hold down your cursor and drag underneath the input prompt, revealing a hidden equation that's also unsolved, which Sponk noticed changes every few days. Sponk found an old Reddit post talking about codes, which apparently gave different results on the old version of the website before it went down, and it was found by going to xccr.com/images and going to the final image listed, last modified on November 18, 2004. You can see this. Sponk found none of the old codes worked on the new website, except one, which the Reddit post described as extremely important, 227664. Entering the code made a 100-minute countdown timer appear, which disappeared when it finished. A message was found by looking in the source code of the page that says please enter the numbers before the time runs out, along with a list of different labeled keys and doors with random text next to them, two of which, the only codes paired with doors, were found to match the IDs of random Bitcoin wallets that can be found online. Sponk tried entering a code from Lost, since there were references between the two franchises, but found there weren't enough digits to input the code. And at the end of 2023, a new number appeared above the input prompt that's changed to a different number at random intervals, and at one point even matched the balance of one of the aforementioned Bitcoin wallets, and reportedly paused there before it started counting the other way. From here, we're basically at a standstill. It's unknown what the next step of XCCR is and what any of it means, as well as who's behind it or if the new site is even run by the same organization or person who ran the old site, considering the domain is registered through a different service and has a different IP address. While its purpose is still unclear, just remember to be careful exploring XCCR, as we still don't know who's running the site, and they appear to be searching for someone. For all we know, Valve has nothing to do with any of this, and some organization or individual has hijacked it all in an attempt to attract people to XCCR for some sort of purpose we still don't know. Let's just hope it's not a crypto scam. And thanks again to Once Human for sponsoring this video. I had no idea what was in store for me with Once Human and was shocked how slick the game was after getting an exclusive preview. With unique supernatural horror, smooth third-person gunplay, and addictive survival mechanics, the art style is truly compelling and creepy, with lots of quest variety in a massive open world with lots of different towns and dungeon bosses to explore. In addition to the addictive survival mechanics and PvE action, there's also robust construction elements and 4,000 player PvP servers, touting a 256 square kilometer open world map 10 times bigger than Fortnite. There was painstaking detail everywhere I explored, stumbling across increasingly bizarre scenes while occasionally being met with shockingly wild boss battles, like this one where I shot this guy's Gatling gun arm off and then used it against himself. I love that the whole thing is super out there too, like the fact I couldn't even craft pants for the first few hours and was forced to kick ass in my underwear. You can also instantly craft a motorcycle wherever you want, allowing you to listen to multiple radio stations as you roam through enemies and areas with lots of punchy weaponry or even telekinetic powers. It comes together for an incredibly unique and strange package that's sure to stick with you, that's even consistently entered into the top 10 on Steam wishlist and has 370,000 members on Discord. Not only that, but on the recent launch day of its demo, it quickly became the most wishlisted and trending upcoming game on Steam, as well as having the most active daily players and even ending up on the top 10 most watched games on Twitch. Be sure to add the game on Steam to your wishlist so you don't miss out on Once Human when it officially releases July 9th. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and if you know of any other ARGs that are still unsolved, submit through oddheader.com, come join the Discord, or even send me a shout through Twitter or Reddit. And thanks again to Slippy Slides for helping get the footage in this video. Feel free to subscribe to him down below as well. Shout out to Angel the Fox, Ash Photography, Bitwif27, Black Evie50, Chad Biscuits, Eddie Talkspin the Bleach Primate, Flex, Kieran Bolton, The Meatly, Phoenix157, Rackman22, Riley S, Robert Eisenman, Rolkot Mifua, Select, Starcore2, Terran Stock, and Towerizer for their Patreon support. Stay tuned.